Hi, good afternoon, everyone. This is Rakesh Arora from Go India Advisors, and we are pleased to host Dipanshu, who is MD and Chairman of DSM Fresh Foods. On this call, we'll be doing the discussion on the company's business model and their new acquisition, Ambrosia, and also discuss the outlook for the year ahead. So we'll just start with a small presentation. In which I'll just quickly take you through what the company does so that you have a basic idea, and then we'll start our discussion. So, DSM Fresh Foods' main brand is Zep Fresh, and they've been into this organized food consumption platform over the last few years. So Dipanshu is the promoter and also the managing director. He has an experience of more than 15 years. His previous management roles were at MobiKwik. He was also, you know, before starting Jeffresh, he also co-conceptualized Decisions, which is a well-known brand. Under his leadership, Jeffresh has grown to be the first profitable D2C fresh protein platform. And now they are pursuing strategies through value-accretive acquisition in the FMCG space to become a holistic player. This is a snapshot of the company founded in 2015. Business model is asset light, farm to fork integration, direct sourcing, centralized processing, cold chain, system, footprint across most of North and Western India, and product portfolio is ready to cook, ready to eat, and chicken, mutton, all kind of meats over there, targeting dense urban consumption clusters at the moment. This is how the company has grown, 52% CAGR revenue growth, so more than doubling of revenue in the last 2 years. And PAT has grown even further from 2.7 crore to 9 crore. Recently, DSM Fresh Foods have announced acquisition of Ambrosia. So they have acquired around 76% through a company called Aviom Food Tech. So DSM will own 76% into this company through a primary cash infusion of around 8 crore. Mr. Dipanshu would be owning the remaining 24% with the cash infusion of 2 crore. Now, this company, also has some liabilities which will be taken over. So that's around, I think, 13-14 crore. So the strategic rationale for acquisition is that, Ambrosia brings with itself a, established processed and frozen food portfolio, and it gives them a ready access to a running revenue generating platform, saves them a lot of time to reach to the market. It has a 30,000 square feet fully integrated facility, 4 parallel automatic and semi-automatic lines. And more importantly, all these facilities are, approved by various regulatory authorities. And it also gives an immediate international market access. So these are some of the pictures of the facility. This is a product catalog. So they have a good range of vegetarian stuff, which is complementary to DSM Fresh Food. These are some of the earlier clients of Ambrosia. So I'll stop here and I'll start with Dipanshu. Can you take us through your journey as to how you started and uh, how did this? I mean, obviously you have background in your earlier avatar in Lycetius. So can you take us through what was the guiding force for you?
Thank you, Rakesh. Thank you so much for taking everybody through the presentation. My journey has been, with many industries in education, healthcare, fintech, and my first project was at Frito-Lay's, where I was selling Kurkure packs there, and that is where I got the taste of food, FMCG distribution. My love for good food was always the center of everything what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, landed up, talking to the founder of Blinkit, Albinder, who is now the CEO of Zomato, where, we were discussing about potential gaps and opportunities in their market space for grocery and how meat was posing to be a challenge for him. And, still it is for all the marketplaces, and where, we identified that, it is a very, very complex business, which is the fresh, preservative free perishability of the produce. All of those things are something which is, posing a supply chain bottleneck for, and especially it's unorganized to a large extent, where we were coming to organize the entire end-to-end supply chain and bring a better experience to the customer. So it's an integrated approach which we wanted to follow, and where we have the source to the table, integration enabled, and the customer gets more responsible and get more, traceable produce,
Mm-hmm.
which is not a health hazard, because the major perennial issue in the perishables have been how it is processed and sourced, where the largest gaps are there. With specifically, you must have seen with what happened with some of the other players in the category, where the whole farming ecosystem is very unorganized. So we worked with them very closely to to improve the state of affair, infrastructure, everything, so that whatever we serve to the customer is of a certain quality, which is acceptable to us as consumers, and who are specifically ready to pay, an additional price. Are they getting the value? So the question earlier was no. Since we started in 2015, I think we got that initial vote of confidence from the traction which we got in Delhi NCR, that everybody was looking for a better product, hygiene, quality, packaging, everything intact, was something which was a no-brainer, and we saw that in the confidence, when we were building the business. So initially, 2 3 years we took to build supply chain, and after that is when we raised our first capital round by Sidbi Capital Ventures, Amit Burman Family Office, and some of the other clutch of prolific, investors who came on board. And then we spent about 5 years in total, 2020, to make that initial brand, initial experience in place, and started working on efficiency in 21 22. COVID was a great learning, and it gave us a good growth as well. So we started working on efficiency at scale in one market, and delivered profitability. And then beyond that, we thought that we are now ready to unlock new markets, which is where the aqua hiring as a strategy came in play.
Mm-hmm.
And when we tasted that acquisition, first in Bangalore, and we saw the growth coming from there, we thought to ourselves that, we need to do it more often. And since then, we've been acquiring one company every year, and creating a more wide variety of products and geography has been the idea. So the
Mm-hmm.
first two acquisitions were more geography linked, which is where we wanted an entry in Bangalore, and the other which we did to acquire business in Bombay. But now, because these markets are there, we are building on the product basket side, which we haven't really done much there, since this acquisition has happened. So this is our aggressive push on the product side of it, while we build distribution and new geographies, domestic and international both.
So, Dipanshu, can you just take us through the supply chain for the existing business? How does it work? You did mention that you work with, the farmers and the local people to ensure, best practices. So, can you just take us a little bit more, what is our supply chain, and give us a little bit flavor on that?
Yeah, so see, basically in supply chain, what we identified initially, the learning was that we cannot depend on the mediators and the wholesalers, because that is where the shortchanging happens the most, both in quality and price. So how do we skip them and go directly to the farmer, was a first win for us. When we go to the farmers directly, where we have a set of parameters which they have to follow, adhere to give a certain quality of chicken, is where we those are the guidelines basically which they follow, and then are able to give a good, better quality product, which is available in the local market. So no antibiotic residue is one important piece, where what happens in the birds, and there is so much talk about antibiotics these days, where we are, how we are becoming antibiotic resistant as as India as a population. So there are, certain parameters which are health hazards, which we put in the face to the farmer, that we don't want, that this is the don't list. Then there is
Okay.
a to-do list. So we start with the don'ts, and then we move to the to-dos, which includes if they have to improve the infra, if they have to do automation in terms of their farming practice. All of those things are inculcated in the journey when we started this. Now today it's been 10 years, so a lot of backend has improved drastically. We don't have to do that kind of a hard job what we used to do earlier. They already have a certain capabilities. Now we just come to further refine it or make it more, more amicable to the market expectation. But that's about it. Not a lot of that is required as of date,
So
at least in the chicken
how
side.
many collection centers have we developed? Or how many farmers, or any idea that you can give us?
So we have total of approximately 30 partners. We call them partners more than, vendors or farmers, because we want to see them as more organized, so that,
Okay.
they are the pillar to our, business. So we support them in various, ways, by incentivizing them, by giving them payments on time, before time, investing with them, whatever is possible, where the stakeholders are, those are the main stakeholders, and we are the beneficiaries, is how we treat it. And these farmers are generally located in outskirts. We have in Haryana, then we are currently present in three markets: Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore. So each market has its own processing unit, which takes care of this, secondary operation, which is cleaning, packaging, storage. We are not in slaughtering. We don't do that. So farmer gives us a live chicken. We take it to a abattoir, which is a government approved and automated, good quality abattoir, which gives us a clean cut meat. And then we further, do the secondary processing, which is clean, deboning and certain other cuts which are required as per the customer's demands, and package it. And then we ship it to our delivery hubs. From there, it directly goes to the customers. And for our B2B customers, these mother units go directly from there.
Okay. So can you also give us a little bit about the value chain? So how do we price the product? Is it fixed monthly or changes daily? How does the purchasing happens?
So the market general trend is on a daily basis, but there are all type of customers, because we cater to a B2B segment as well. We have customers who are buying on a daily price. We have customers who are buying on an annual price. So we do our backward integration is mostly done on a broad mathematics, which is that whatever is their cost of production, we will give them a certain margin on top of that, not really just looking at what the market is paying, because it's a supply demand situation which is very, very fluctuating. So to be foolproofing ourselves with that, this is where we prefer. That's our first preference, that your cost of production or farming plus your margins. We break down that entire cost, so that there is transparency and there is honesty in the price.
Mhm.
And then we have certain partners who we work with for contingencies, where if there is any kind of shortage or something, then we have second tier partners also. With them, we work on a annual price. And then we have a third tier, which is where the daily price also happens. So there are three types of these relationships basis on if there is any inability with one set, we go to the second set, but
Okay.
mostly we are stabilized here.
Okay. And what kind of margins what kind of gross margins we think about when we are doing the purchases?
So we look at, margin profile has been improved drastically. We currently are operating at a peak margin. At a gross margin level, it will be approximately close to 50 to 55% approximately, which is
Okay.
just the buying to the selling cost, I'm saying. Then there are other costs, which are your people cost, processing cost, the cutting, cleaning cost. Then
Mhm.
we have our delivery logistics cost. So, with that, the margin comes lesser, but on a gross margin, this is the profile we are maintaining.
Okay. And on in terms of distribution of our product, uh, how much of the sales are B2B and how much are B2C?
So as of H1, it is 50-50. Last year, it used to be 30% offline slash B2B. And this year, it has increased to 50%. So 50-50 is currently.
And B2C, how do we sell? Do we have stores or is it just online or
Yes, it's all direct to consumer online.
okay? And how fast do we do deliveries? Because these days everybody wants everything in 10 minutes or something like that.
No, so we don't follow the trend. That's how we have generally been. We look at what the market can stomach and where we can make money. We have to strike that balance.
Hmm.
Because quick commerce has also got a lot of flag these days. I think people are now, going beyond 10 to 20. So it's just a back and forth to my mind. It's a marketing gimmick to a certain extent, which has worked very well till it is working because it is, at a unit economics level, not sustainable. So we feel that, sustainability is core to our project because we are building a business for the next 3-4 decades at least, and
Hmm.
not really want to get vanished or, with something or the other coming our way. So we follow a slotted delivery, which is because, also, the other thing which I also want to add here, a
Hmm.
lot of awareness is there in the new age consumer that they refrain buying perishables from the marketplaces. They buy all of their packaged goods. Even there, the expiries are, very dicey. In perishables, it becomes more grave. So I
Hmm.
think customers understand where they have to go for what products and categories is smart customers. So that ways we have a pie of customers who are happily buying in slotted, timelines because they always plan a meal ahead, right? You are not
Yeah.
thinking that you want a raw chicken right now. It is of no use. You have to cook it. So there is a timeline to the cooking process, which is where we feel it's a more planned approach rather than
Mhm.
a fast approach.
Okay. So in terms of your strategic priorities for the current business, obviously one would be geographical expansion. Uh, there could be some product innovation, etc. So can you take us through what are the priorities that you have for the current business?
Okay, so the thing which I said that we wanted to add the muscle power and the capability on the product side because in the last 10 years we haven't done anything on the product side. We've remained very limited to our number of SKUs and products, etc.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
which I think has changed after we've acquired Ambrosia, which
Okay.
has about 150 to 200 products,
Mhm.
which is going to be, both for, meat and non-meat. Currently, it's all non-meat because they didn't have traceability on the meat side. Because for international exports, you need traceability and getting licenses for international meat as a non-veg product, you have to be a little more stringent. So they started, with non-meat category. And then we coming on board will bring that, quality assurance where we will be able to plug in meet in the current category of products. So
Mm.
I would say, Rakesh, that we have, a massive line of product profile now for at least next 3 to 5 years,
Okay.
which will give thrust to the margins significantly. Because earlier, since we were only mostly in perishables, the margin profile is of a certain level. Now that will be improved, as we move forward.
So what kind of SKUs Ambrosia have, and I mean, what is the current SKU now count that we have
We have about 150 plus. We have
right now?
right from a frozen soup to a frozen dessert, whatever you can think of. Because the parent business, which is running Ambrosia, the promoter is actually a number one caterer in Chandigarh. He's a very well-renowned brand,
Hmm.
which is, in his own project, they're already doing 40, 50 crores of their own revenue, and a very positive profitability on that business. They started this, but they couldn't scale it and focus on this. So we came, came to the rescue, and we've actually been evaluating them for the last 1.5 year. We were not able to strike a certain, price point. So it took us this much time. Otherwise, we were always keen on developing this product profile, which will take the profitability a notch higher.
Hmm. Okay. So 150 SKUs are with Ambrosia, or what is our current SKU?
Yes, yes, yes. 150 is with Ambrosia. With us, we already have about,
Guys, please keep your yourself on mute. Hi, thank you.
yeah, we
Mm.
already have around 50 to 60 SKUs with us.
Mhm.
With this line of products, we will be gradually launching it online. So we are looking at category by category launches, but overall the capacity and capability is quite large.
Okay, okay, understood. So, in terms of this product category, how will we be able to, kind of distribute? Will we be able to distribute across our current channel, or it will require a different channel?
No, so definitely the existing channel is also going to be harnessed, which is the domestic online and Horeca both are going to be, taken care of, where we gradually are introducing these new products under the same profile. And
Mhm.
then we've got a, enterprise business app also now, through which it will become easier to introduce new products and access the same set of customers, both for online and offline. And from a online offline in domestic, this is one part of it. Then I think the other part is the export market, which is opening up by the virtue of what they're already selling to some of the customers. So Ambrosia as a project was already catering to business like Al Kabir. They're doing Jubilant in India. They're doing some white labeling for some products, some projects in Canada, Europe. So Europe specifically now with the free trade agreement, I think even with Canada in the works, we see immense potential from an export point of view, and that is going to be a no-brainer because that's already a existing market for them. So we'll harness that international market, and then we will have this synergistic value which we will bring from a domestic point of view to the same product line.
So, what was the top line, Ambrosia was doing, before they went down a little bit?
So they have peaked around 16 crores in 24/5, and
Hmm.
and yeah, that was their highest. We are looking at doubling that in the coming financial year. So
Okay,
and then this business for us is a very strategically important business from a value added portfolio. And also Rakesh, to add that, currently, we will be adding more strength to their products, which will be by introducing proteins specifically, which is limited to only paneer as of now. So
okay.
so that addition will also increase revenues drastically 27 is going to be a very important big year for us.
Okay. So in terms of offline sales or B2B sales, meaning we already have reached out to our customers about Ambrosia. I mean, what is the feedback we are getting? Are there any, tie-ups which are already happening?
Yeah, we are already, we've actually just going to be signing a MOU with a very large food distribution company in India, which is doing a distribution of about, they do a business about 1,500 crores.
Okay.
One of the very oldest guys in the business.
Hmm.
So we're just doing a MOU for our international market with them, where they will they take care of an exclusive mandate to run that geography from a distribution point of view.
Okay.
A very key market which they'll be able to open for us. We'll announce that once that is finalized.
Hmm.
But yeah, that MOU and these MOUs are going to be done with various other distributors for international markets, which we are looking at it. We're
Okay.
also launching a new brand. It's going to be called Miva Foods, which
Hmm.
is Wisap Fresh, which will be purely for ready to eat, ready to cook products. And largely, this will carry an international footprint even in the big box retailers in US and Middle East. So everywhere,
Okay.
this is where we are going to be branding the category with.
Okay. There was one question from Vansh about gross margins for B2B and B2C businesses. So for the existing business, you did mention B2B, uh, try to maintain gross margin of 50%. Is it same for B2C also, or is it?
So, see, if we talk about, a gross, so what I said 50% is basically at a purchase to selling cost. When
Hmm.
we look at adding the processing cost, the realized gross margin comes to approximately 35%.
Okay.
And that's a gross margin profile on the B2C side. On the B2B side, this is about 15 to 18%. That is the broad range. And the net is where we feel it's very similar. So net level, because the cost in B2Cs are higher. The direct costs are
Okay.
higher in the B2C side of it. So to us, what matters is the net margin profile equally than, the gross margin profile.
Okay. So, and what about Ambrosia? You think the margins would be similar in this range, or it will go
No,
up?
higher. They'll be higher. So we are looking at initially, of course, first year of operation, the economies of scale will need to be built upon to
Hmm.
come to a certain mature profile on the margins. But
Hmm.
overall, we see it will be at least, I think 20% higher, 20-25% higher.
Okay. In Ambrosia. Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
And so Shiva has a question on, the production capacity of Ambrosia. How long is it going to take to ramp up, and, uh, any outlook on the capacity increase post-acquisition?
So I'm, we're very excited that this is what we have done. The capacity is not a problem. It's a very large land parcel of almost 4.5 acres, which we have acquired, in which almost 1.5 acre is built up with plant and machinery. So we are currently operating at about, close to 10, 15, 20% capacity. We have the capacity to take it to approximately 140 to 150 crore of revenue profile
Hmm.
only through the built up space. And then we have more capacities which can be built in the same land parcel. So essentially, if we look at, building the entire land parcel, then this could be easily a 500, 600 crore, profile capacity, which we will be sitting upon.
Okay. So you're saying 140, 150 crore we can go from the current lines,
Correct,
and
correct.
maybe in future, if we need, there's enough land for future expansion.
Yes, yes,
Oh,
yes.
okay. And uh, one of the questions, uh, which Shobit has asked. He's asked, it's a difficult question. Why we are taking stake in Aviom, you know, through Aviom in Ambrosia? And why not Zapfresh directly acquiring Ambrosia?
So we are not yet ITC. We are trying to become, where the company has a certain appetite to invest from a financial bandwidth point of view. Since we have to, also pump up more infusion once the scale comes in, in the new, project. We have to budget ourselves and only look at a certain financial bandwidth rather than overexposing ourselves, at on the consideration of the side, because the further growth capital is also needed, right, in the asset.
Hmm.
So it can't be going everything in that where the consideration price becomes 100%. So that's where we feel that at this point we were able to afford this much from the company,
Hmm.
but in the coming short term, we do look at, catering to the entire chunk.
Hmm.
So the idea is to be, it's 76% also is a significant majority, I would say, from a technical point of view, it does come under the same thing.
Hmm.
So that is where I feel that, future we will add up more, but at this moment we could afford this much from a
Oh,
company profile.
okay. So given the current balance sheet, now there are a lot of questions on the balance sheet. I'll come to it. But Sachin is asking, why do we prefer, to invest into new product lines? Why not, uh, in expanding the existing product in new geographies?
Very good question. So as I said that from we haven't launched any new products since last 10 years.
Hmm.
So a 10-year, a very, very, vanilla product line has been on the offering. Whereas if you look at any other company which is growing, is constantly introducing new products. Okay. For me, because we get into the territory of taste, for me to build that taste and that learning curve is a more time taking process, and it's better that somebody who's cracked taste, who has been in the business since decades, is able to easily pass that baton to us. So I feel that, there are certain capabilities and expertise which we have developed. Now rebuilding or building something new from scratch on my own is slightly, harder. Not that it can't be done, but, we find that this is a better approach where we want to add more products by capacity and capability through aqua hiring and acquisitions. The second part of this, answer is that we want to be in the, in more high margin products. In perishables and, in fresh produce, there's a certain margin profile which you can attain, which I think we are doing very, good at. And that's one from a product profile point of view where the margins are better. So we feel that value added products are very complementing to the primary business. So it's not that it's a new business or it's out of the blue product line. That's not what it is. Uh,
Hmm.
so we are doing momos, we are doing burger patties, we are doing, bunch of products which are more in the same line where it's not a restaurant which we are getting into. It is not a rice distribution we are getting into. Ready to cook, ready to eat has been under our banners since the day we started. It's just hasn't expanded, hasn't innovated, since we've been trying to do that, and now since we have three markets in front of us, to make the most out of these markets, you need to feed the market good products which have more margins, and then it becomes a inorganic thrust in the same markets. So the answer is that, the markets are hungry, and we were getting short with products. So we wanted to give more products to the market so that they are able to latch upon it. And all our distribution expense, effort, cost gets very well monetized when you have a very wide assortment with you, so that we can the opportunity to make money is higher by minimal investment is the whole
Okay.
idea.
So there's a related question from Amit. He's asking, is there any challenges to the current category? Meaning, obviously, you alluded that you want to be into a higher margin product profile, but current category is also big enough, and you will continue to grow, right? You don't sacrifice growth in the current category
No,
because
no,
of
that's not the case.
Mm,
So we are trying to over exceed our commitments and expectations. We don't want to fall short of whatever we are committing. This is something which is a very natural category which is coming to us, rather than discounting what the primary category is. I'm not discounting it. I'm simply saying that
mm,
it has a margin ceiling, okay, which I'm talking about a percentage margin profile, which is where we feel that this has a higher margin profile. So in the next, let's say, 2 to 3 years, the idea is that this particular category contributes at least 25 to 30% of our overall revenues, where we are able to see a increase in our bottom line is how I'm looking at it.
okay. Um, I want to go to the debt question, but Priyansh has asked, slightly different. He's asking, what is the different supply challenges that we see for B2B for different product profiles? Meaning, every like perishable has its own challenges. Ready to eat would be something different. So, are there any different challenges that you see for supply chain for diverse
Uh,
products?
Supply chain, Rakesh, frankly, we have been essentially focusing all our efforts in supply chain since the last, 10 years. Now we are looking at more distribution-led approach where capacity, capability, and supply chain is all cracked when it comes to poultry, goat meat, fish and seafood. We don't
Mhm,
find any more challenges there. It is what it is, and we have cracked that code. That's why we are able to deliver on a certain margin profile. And it goes both for B2B, B2C. I mean, sourcing is the
mhm,
same. You just
mhm,
need to, do some bit of packaging and customization differently for different customers. But everything remains mostly standardized. There is no different supply chain sourcing for categories.
mhm. Obviously. So Rohit has, one more question. He's saying, can you share a little bit more on the offline business? Basically, he's talking about the branded offline stores at Zapfresh. How is it coming along, and are there any triggers for growth here?
So we've seen some uptake in the existing stores which we've been running. We are looking at more ramp up in the number of stores in the new financial year. But this financial year, largely, everything remains what we are currently doing, which is catering to Horeca and online. On the store bit, we will accelerate from March and April is what the idea is.
How many stores are there at the moment, Dipanshu?
Currently, there are about 20 stores which we are running.
20 stores. Okay.
Yeah.
And these are company owned, or these
No,
are
these are all partner stores.
okay, so franchisee
Channel
stores.
partners, channel partner stores, not franchisees. These
Okay.
are all brand which we basically modernize those stores, run already existing running stores. So it's like, think of it like a Farm Easy, think of it like a, already running store converting into a branded store where we become their supply chain partner. So this is a very critical strategic project, and we would be focusing on it now, considering we have a more depth in the product profile, where a lot of ready to eat will also be pushed in these stores.
Okay.
It becomes a one-stop shop, all kind of a solution for
Hmm.
the retailers and also for the Horeca partners who we are already working with.
Okay. So now let's come to, okay. Before I go to the debt level, some question comes in. So Amit has asked, how do we see the revenue split between B2C and B2B for Ambrosia? Are there any estimates available or yeah?
Uh, we are in the process of ascertaining that and building that thesis and numbers. But largely, we are committed to a overall growth of doubling, more than doubling the revenue, which Ambrosia has peaked.
Okay,
And then the how it will behave from a branded and B2B side of it will be yet to be seen. I mean, we're not anywhere to give any particular figure on that as of now.
understood. So now a lot of growth is coming. You have done this acquisition. You need around 8 crore over here from Zapfresh, from DSM Foods. So what is the status of debt? And what about the IPO proceeds? How much has been spent? And will there be a change of usage of IPO proceeds given this acquisition?
Okay, so we have a debt profile of about 50 crores, which is what it has been slightly added for working capital, which is where the usage is. Around 60% of the money is still there from the IPO. The rest is invested in working capital
Mhm.
and in different other areas.
So we won't need any. So this IPO proceeds, the use case was not acquisition, right?
So no, so we will be utilizing. We've changed some proceeds from marketing to add it in this acquisition, but this is not upfront investment. It's a tranche base investment.
Okay.
It is going to be carried out in the next 6 to 12 months, which is where the infusion will be very gradual. So it's not a immediate hit where I'm saying that okay, we've taken a certain chunk and then it's going one shot. That's not the
Mhm.
case here.
Okay. So debt levels will increase along with the business for working capital largely, but you know, you don't see any too much hit
No,
because of this acquisition.
no, no.
Okay. And in terms of you know, any investment which will be required in Ambrosia, and there is some credit lines in Ambrosia. So can you allude to that?
Yeah, there is already a 10 crore line from HDFC which is already there. So whatever additional will be required, we'll take help from the banks. But
Mhm.
at this point, I think with exports, we also have certain, we are looking at not, increasing the working capital too much on the international business. Frankly, there are ways to do that, and the profile of the customers are also pretty, blue chip customers are there, so I
Mhm.
don't think working capital stretch will be there too much. We will see how much window is there, and accordingly we will exercise any kind of intervention from the banking institutions if required.
So Ambrosia, have we already taken control of the asset and we started
Yes.
work?
We are in the process of signing up the land documents, but we have signed the business transfer. We're just waiting for the GST to come in. So that as soon as that comes in, but this financial year we can't account for anything if that is where what you are implying, Rakesh.
Mhm.
Everything will be reflected in 27, or
Okay,
at
so
least
from
at least in the H1 or any other guidance call if we do around that point.
okay, so around 30 crore kind of number that you're talking about next year, it will be largely back-ended in FY27, or it will start from Q1 and gradually
No,
ramp up?
I'm talking from the new financial year,
Mhm.
is what I'm saying. It's already doing a same similar number what it used to be doing. So I mean, if your question is how much it is doing as of now,
Mhm.
it's doing around 1.5 crore, which is almost the same, about 15 odd crores, 16 crores is the current ARR, which we are going to double, and more with our efforts. We are planning to add more. But to be conservative, I'm just giving you a doubling figure, but the expectation is more than that.
Okay, and in first year itself, you think it will be profitable?
Hopefully, yes, but definitely not on the bleeding side.
Okay, got it. Now, Purva and Shiva have both the same question about South Indian market. They said that you did extremely well in Bangalore within 1 year of launch. What's the plan now?
So Bangalore is still topping the charts for us. It is still the number one market. We see West catching up well now. So South and West are going to be dominating overall. And as I said, that now we are creating more depth. We are thinking about geographies not too much. We are thinking about depth a lot. So just like the way we have created depth in the product profile, we want to be more entrenched in the distribution side as
Mm-hmm.
we move forward, and absolutely on the south and the west side.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, I mean, lots going on in our existing category, geographic expansion, and then all this Ambrosia new product, which could be, a huge thing. So, can you give us a little bit more color on what kind of revenue and margin people should expect over the next 1 to 2 years? Um,
You're talking about
Overall for the company. So
overall.
basically, like, yeah.
Okay. Overall, we're looking at, doubling down. So we've been doubling down, overall, if you list, there has been a 70 to 80% growth, which has been happening, at least in the last year or two. So we would operate on that 70 to 80% growth at an overall level. That's how I see it.
You mean revenue growth, right?
I'm talking revenue growth, yes.
Okay, so 70 to 80% revenue growth and margins, meaning you have improved a lot. So would you be able to sustain or it will go up further?
It will sustain. Margins will sustain. So the good part is that, considering we have a wide profile of products now, we don't need to worry about bottom line. We just need to look at creating more distribution depth as we build forward. And overall, very bullish on 27. That's going to be, I think, a very meaningful year where a lot of our projects are going to be seeing good results and fruition.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So Satish is asking some basic question about, how much was spent to acquire Ambrosia. So Satish, around 10 crores have gone through in equity, which is split between 8 crore from DSM Foods and 2 crore Dipanshu is putting in to acquire 100% in Ambrosia. So the listed company will have 76% stake. So I hope that answers your question. Purva is asking one question. How many outlets? So you told about 20 outlets that we have. Is there any geographic breakup between north, south,
It's
west?
all in Bangalore currently.
Ajab, all in Bangalore.
Yeah.
Raksha is asking the quantum of identified liabilities, including bank borrowings, trade payable. So you said we have credit lines of around 10 crore. Are there any other liabilities?
No.
Okay, so around 10 crore of credit lines gets.
Yeah, some debtors are there, but that's not too much. That's regular BAU.
Acha, sure. So maybe 1, 2 crore more here and there.
Correct.
Okay, so 11 to 12 crore, Raksha. I hope that answers your question. Uh, there was a question on, return on capital employed for Ambrosia acquisition.
Yeah, it is going to be better than the existing business. It's going to be about 30%.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Uh,
Because of higher EBITDA. The EBITDA is going to be higher in the business. As I said that, this is a gold mine of a project, which has taken a lot of hard work, a lot of sweat, a lot of time, which we have been cracking with them. We were negotiating very hard for the last 1.5 year with the promoters, because this is a state-of-the-art international pedigree project, which is going to serve both domestic and international markets. So I'm super thrilled and very excited with this addition, in the basket for us. And as I said that, it's a gearing up which is happening. The real essence is going to be seen in the near to, short term scenario.
okay, so Amit has a question on Lysistrata, which we'll take later on. Let's take what, Satish's question. He's saying the business in Bangalore, offline and online. He said most of the times, things are not visible on Zepfresh app in Bangalore.
Right. So we are limited in pin codes. So in new markets, we don't go all out. Bangalore is a year and a half old market for online business for us, 2 years almost. So we generally are doing more B2B Horeca in Bangalore, and online is lesser, but we would be adding more pin codes as we move forward. And we are already in the process to do that.
Okay. And so obviously your customers are demanding a lot more. You need to move fast. By
Yeah.
the way, Amit is asking, Licious is losing money at 800 crore revenue. So what makes us different?
I've answered this earlier many times in some of the other guidance calls. If you get access to that, please check that out.
Hmm.
But again, to give you a short answer, it's a strategy difference both on omni-channel distribution and also the differentiation on supply chain. We've inherently been an omni-channel player since day one, whereas they have done very heavy experiments in ways which have not yielded that kind of results for them. And for us, we've done very small trials and errors. With that, we've learned and scaled upon that learning is where
Hmm.
I think we've had a advantage there. So
Hmm.
these are some of the thoughts there. But for detail, I think you can go and check out the other guidance call.
Okay, so Ashish is asking, was there any competitors for the, Ambrosia or
Competitors.
yeah, who were bidding against us or
Yes, yes, there was, but I don't want to name them. But there were some of the emerging businesses which are in the food processing segment, but nobody in the same line of business like us, but
and
mostly in
uh,
the similar trade.
maybe I misunderstood the question. Maybe he's asking who are the competitors for Ambrosia
Who are the
business.
competitors for Ambrosia? Okay, so ITC is doing a lot of products.
Hmm.
Godrej, real category, and then we have Handi is also a brand. So there are regional geographic specific brands which are there. At a pan India level, I think some of these big names are ITC and these guys, or the league of those guys are there.
Hmm. Sachin is asking, MTR is also one of those guys.
MTR, no. So MTR does ready to cook, which is more like a batter and all. Okay. What we are doing, Rakesh, I want to also clear this out. This is more of ready to eat, which is heat and eat. So where you have to just, either air fry it or just, simply put it in a microwave or on the pan. So
Hmm.
that's more convenience coming to you. And this particular category, for Indian nationals sitting in Canada, is in very high demand, whether it is UK, Europe, because those people are not able to, access the desi Indian taste.
Hmm.
And they, the stuff they used to eat out in India, they miss that. So I
Hmm.
think we are leveraging on that taste part of it, hugely because specifically what they're missing
Hmm.
as a product profile which is not there. Haldiram is another benchmark.
Okay.
But again, Haldiram also is very limited to products. We have a very wide range, which goes in even sauces. So sauces is where the margins are higher. So we are building upon our learning as we move forward also, and looking at becoming a wide range of products. So answering just another question, which just was I saw it on the screen. Just you want to become like an ITC. Yeah, I mean, the thought is like that, where we will be not house of like brands per se, but there is depth in certain high margin product businesses which are more lucrative for a aspirational customer profile sitting in India and abroad is how we are looking at it.
Okay. Uh, there are a lot more questions, but we have limited time. So the one question Manch has been asking is 50 crore loans and advances. This is the same working capital loan, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's then. Purva has been asking, how do we strengthen our supply chain? Or do we open more dark store, more outlets?
Yes.
Uh,
Yes. So, dark stores, opening pin codes, stores, that's going to be the next, part of our growth story, where we are focusing more
mhm.
now because considering now we have the length and breadth of the products. It's all this year we are focusing a lot on distribution, and we'll go like that where we pump up products everywhere wherever we are present. And it's a lot we are taking, Rakesh, in the minimum bandwidth and the minimum time we are looking at it. So I see a very exponential number growth for investors who are long term, going to come and see a massive compounding over the next 2 to 3 year horizon at least.
Okay, Satish is, not satisfied with this 10 crore number on acquisition. Can you tell us what is the value of the land and assets so that he gets some idea of how much are we spending on the acquisition?
Yes. So the total cost of the asset is about 16 crores, which includes the land and the plant and machinery together. The land is going to is around 9 to 10 crores. Building is about 3 crores. Plant and machinery is of 5 crores. So approximately that is the number.
Okay, so I hope Satish you're satisfied. Shobit is asking, what kind of numbers can we expect in Q4 from Ambrosia, etc. So Shobit, nothing in Q4, mostly from Q1 next year that you should expect numbers from Ambrosia. Uh, Now Rohit and Ashish have similar question. Ashish is asking how many acquisitions, more acquisition next 2 3 years. Rohit is asking, do we become ITC and become like a broad-based basket? So
Yeah,
obviously,
so
yeah.
okay. So see, we've been doing one acquisition a year. The track record is that one acquisition in 3 years is what we
Mhm.
have done. And Ambrosia falls under this financial year. We haven't done that because we were busy with the IPO. So as soon as we got finished, we acquired. Rakesh, today, interestingly, what's happening is that a lot of inbound, interest is coming from so many food companies to us because
Okay.
they have seen the kind of turnaround we've been able to do the asset, with the assets where the promoters have also seen a significant value, creation,
Hmm.
where they come under, the umbrella of DSM, and then they are able to maximize their outcomes over a period of time. So there are no dearths of acquisitions. Frankly, we'll be always evaluating 2 to 3, acquiring opportunities. But it's not about that we are, just looking at myopically on acquisitions. We are looking at partnerships. I would call it more like collaborations and partnerships, which comes in different shapes and forms. One type is a joint venture. Then there is another which is acquiring acquisitions. So we are very hungry as people, and we don't want to let any opportunity go, where we where the vision to become a large food conglomerate
Hmm.
gets realized as soon as possible. So we are definitely in a hurry to grow. No doubt about that. We've been sitting on the side, building on efficiencies, everything we've done that, and understood and cracked that code. Now, with these capacities, capabilities, and depths, what we are creating is nothing short of a more bullish ride, which we are taking upon to create a large food conglomerate which has very complementing interests in the space where the distribution is the same. The supply chain we've already understood. Now it's just about harnessing those capabilities in a very synergistic way. So, I mean, the answer is that there is no specific number from that how many acquisitions we are going to do. But I would say, ballpark, you know, on the safer side, one acquisition a year. That is good enough because we can't chew it also so much. We have to see value coming out of those acquisitions over a period of time as well. So the strategy is very, very, aggressively, targeted towards bottom line improvement.
Okay, got it. So I think one had a question about when do we hit 400 crore revenue mark. So I just calculated FY27 based on 1.7 times twice. So I hope that is correct. Uh, One last question, meaning how much funds cash we have right now? What kind of, you
We
know,
We have enough internal accruals. We are sufficiently, liquidated, and we have enough opportunities in front of us to even, raise more if we want to. At this moment, the focus is towards mostly about, as I said, building distribution, automation, improvements on processes. So our hands are full with work, and there is enough capital which we have to do what we're supposed to do for at least 1 year.
okay, so for Ambrosia, we don't need more equity raise, but beyond that, when we come across some good acquisition or something, we
Yeah, I
might.
mean, see, there is a lot of interest which is coming from private investors also for these new acquisitions which we are doing. So I don't want to comment specifically too much and preempt anything on the capital raise strategy. But the answer to your to one question is that from a liquidation point of view, we are very comfortably placed to achieve the near short term numbers which we have taken in our hand. And I think whether it is Ambrosia or the parent business, both are going to go hand in hand. The parent business is going to grow as per a very steady number, and then the new business, whichever we are looking at, is going to go more exponential as we move forward, because when you start the business initial 2 3 years, the growth is exponential, and then you build a certain maturity over a period of time on new projects. So that is the good part of taking over a smaller business, where you unlock a larger influx of growth in the initial 3 years.
Got it. So thank you, Dipanshu. It was great, having this discussion. Uh, I'm surely excited about the prospects, and I'm sure all the investors who are listening to us would feel equally, excited. And there has been a lot of questions on Q3 updates. So I will suggest Dipanshu, we should come out with a operational release so that we give out numbers on what has happened in Q3 to everyone at one go. Obviously, we can't give it selectively. So I think this is what we should consider. So thank you, everyone. And
We will. I also want to take another question from Rohit here. We will be taking quarterly reporting from the new financial year, because the first 6 months post IPO has been very busy for us, considering new acquisition, a new subsidiary coming in, and we are getting used to the whole accounting and compliance and disclosures and everything. So this 6 month period we have taken as a breather for us. So from new financial year, that 3 month reporting will start.
mhm, very good. So thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for joining in.
Thank you, Rakesh.